Hey guys, tonight we are going to embark on a truly unique historical journey, one that promises to lure you into a state of blissful tranquility, even as it reveals the wonderfully strange world of ancient Egypt. Imagine, if you will, the gentle lapping of the Nile against sun-baked riverbanks, the soft rustle of papyrus reeds in a warm breeze, and the rhythmic purr of a contented feline beside you. You are there, in a modest mud brick home, the air thick with the scent of dried herbs and the distant murmur of daily life. Perhaps a small, sleek shadow darts across the floor, a flash of emerald eyes in the dim light. This is not just a story of dusty tombs and pharaohs. Oh no, this is the intimate, often hilariously relatable tale of how the ancient Egyptians lived with, loved, and perhaps were even a little bit controlled by, their beloved cats. You might think you know about ancient Egypt, with its pyramids and mummies, but you probably won't survive this deep dive into the truly odd and surprisingly relaxing habits of their cat owners without a newfound appreciation for fluffy overlords. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And while you are at it, why not tell me where you are listening from and what time it is for you right now? It is always fascinating to imagine our little community spanning the globe. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You stir slightly, the cat shifting on your lap, a soft protest in its low purr. The sun has moved, and the light in the room has softened, taking on a warmer, more golden hue. It's nearing the time for your evening meal, a simple affair of bread, perhaps some dates, and if you are lucky, a bit of fish from the Nile. But before that, there are rituals to observe, even for your beloved feline. You gently lift Bastet, who stretches languidly before hopping to the floor with a graceful, almost silent landing. You watch her pad across the worn floor, her movements fluid and economical, every step deliberate. Her eyes, those captivating pools of gold, seem to take in everything, missing nothing. You know that these cats were often mummified after death, a mainstream historical fact that underscores their sacred status. It wasn't just pharaohs and nobles who received this honor. Common people, like you, would go to great lengths to ensure their beloved pet's passage to the afterlife was as smooth as possible. Imagine the expense, the time, the devotion required for such an undertaking. You might start saving scraps of papyrus or small clay figures to be placed in their tiny tomb, ensuring they have everything they need for their journey. You might even consult with a priest or a local embalmer, discussing the intricate details of the mummification process, from the removal of organs to the wrapping in linen bandages. It's a somber thought, but one that is intertwined with the joy of their living presence. The quirky tidbit here is that some mummified cats have been found with elaborate collars or earrings still adorning their tiny remains, suggesting a deep personal connection and a desire to send them off in style. You can almost picture yourself painstakingly threading tiny beads onto a thin leather thong, creating a miniature masterpiece for your cat, a final loving adornment for its eternal slumber. It's a touch of vanity, perhaps, but also a testament to the profound bond you share. Historians still argue whether the practice of cat mummification was primarily an act of religious devotion, a desperate attempt to ensure a comfortable afterlife for the human owner by appeasing the gods, or simply an outpouring of grief and affection for a cherished companion. As Bastet rubs against your leg, a gentle sandpaper sensation, you lean down and scratch behind her ears. She arches into your touch, purring louder now, a rumble that fills the quiet room. You consider the small clay cat figures you possess, placed reverently on a shelf, not as toys, but as symbols of protection and good fortune. These aren't mere decorations, they are talismans, imbued with a quiet power. You might even find yourself tracing the contours of one of these figures, admiring its simplified yet elegant form. The Egyptians had a remarkable ability to capture the essence of a creature with just a few strokes, a skill you admire. You think about the daily offerings you leave for Bastet, a small bowl of milk, perhaps some scraps of fish, always fresh, always given with respect. It's a simple act, but one that reinforces the idea of reciprocity, a give and take between human and animal. You provide comfort and sustenance, and in return, Bastet graces your home with her presence, a silent guardian against unseen evils. You recall a time when a particularly aggressive snake slithered into your courtyard, and it was Bastet, with a flash of fur and a swift pounce, who drove it away, saving your family from potential harm. It was a stark reminder of their practical value, even amidst all the spiritual reverence. You marvel at their agility, their quick reflexes, their innate hunting instincts. Even a well-fed house cat retains that wild spark, that predatory grace that makes them so captivating. You watch as Bastet stalks an imaginary fly, her tail twitching, her body low to the ground, a miniature hunter in your living space. It's a dance, a silent ballet that unfolds before your eyes, and you find yourself mesmerized by her focused intensity. The sun now dips lower, casting long, distorted shadows across the room. The air begins to cool, and a gentle breeze wafts through the open doorway, carrying the faint scent of the river. You know that as night falls, the world outside will become a different place, filled with the sounds of nocturnal creatures. But inside, within the protective aura of your home and your cat, you feel safe and secure. You reach out and gently rub Bastet's head, feeling the warmth of her fur beneath your palm. She responds with a soft nudge, her purr a steady, comforting drone. It's a simple interaction, yet it speaks volumes about the deep connection you share. This bond, this quiet companionship, is a source of immense comfort and relaxation in your ancient life. You wouldn't trade it for anything, not even for all the gold in the pharaoh's treasury. The very thought of life, without your feline companion, seems empty, devoid of a certain warmth and vibrancy. You think about the subtle shift in atmosphere when Bastet enters a room, a sudden infusion of quiet energy, a heightened sense of awareness that she brings. It's almost as if her presence cleanses the air, leaving behind a feeling of calm. The rhythm of her purr is a lullaby, a silent reassurance that all is well in your small, sun-baked world. You lean back, closing your eyes for a moment, letting the subtle vibrations of her purr resonate through you. It's a feeling of utter tranquility, a moment suspended in time, where the worries of the ancient world fade into the background, leaving only the peaceful hum of a contented cat. The aroma of freshly baked flatbread wafts from the small clay oven in your courtyard, a delicious scent that signals dinner is almost ready. Bastet, ever attuned to the subtle shifts in your household, lifts her head, her ears swiveling towards the source of the inviting smell. You notice her tail, a sleek, tapering whip, giving a slow, almost imperceptible twitch. It's a sign of her quiet anticipation, a feline eagerness that mirrors your own. You know that the ancient Egyptians were renowned for their sophisticated understanding of animal behavior, a mainstream historical fact that is evident in their art and texts. They observed their animals closely, learning their habits and preferences, a knowledge that informed their care and interactions. This wasn't just about practical utility. It was about a deeper appreciation for the living world around them. You might find yourself observing Bastet's play, her sudden bursts of energy as she pounces on a stray leaf, or her intense focus as she watches a lizard scuttle across the wall. These observations aren't idle. They are part of your understanding of her, a way to connect with her on a non-verbal level. The quirky tidbit here is that some archaeological finds suggest that ancient Egyptian cat owners even provided their pets with miniature furniture, including tiny beds and feeding bowls, crafted specifically for their feline companions. Imagine a small, elegantly carved wooden chair just for your cat, perhaps placed by a window where she can bask in the afternoon sun. It speaks to a level of indulgence that might surprise you, a testament to the deep affection and importance placed on these creatures. You can almost picture the small, perfectly formed clay bowl, decorated with simple patterns, from which Bastet would drink her milk or eat her fish. It wasn't just about providing sustenance. It was about providing it with dignity and care. Historians still argue whether the meticulous care given to cats extended to specialized diets, or if they largely shared in the human diet, with certain scraps and offerings given as supplements. You contemplate this as you watch Bastet, her sleek body a study in poised relaxation. Her eyes, those beautiful, intelligent eyes, seem to hold a universe of ancient wisdom, a silent understanding that transcends language. You recall seeing illustrations on temple walls depicting cats participating in hunting scenes, not as wild beasts, but as trained companions, assisting their human counterparts. It's a powerful image, a testament to their versatility and the symbiotic relationship that existed. You wonder if your own Bastet, for all her lounging and purring, possesses that innate hunting instinct, capable of providing for herself if the need arose. You believe she does, a quiet confidence in her self-sufficiency. The gentle aroma of the flatbread intensifies, drawing you back to the present. You carefully break off a small piece, still warm from the oven, and place it on a clean piece of papyrus for Bastet. She approaches it with a delicate sniff, then begins to nibble, her tiny teeth making soft, almost inaudible sounds. It's a moment of quiet satisfaction, a small pleasure shared between you and your cherished companion. You might even find yourself humming a soft, wordless tune as you prepare your own meal, the quiet contentment of the moment settling deep within you. The sun has almost set now, painting the western sky in hues of orange, purple, and deep crimson. The air outside is growing cooler, and the distant sounds of the city begin to fade into a gentle hum. You feel a sense of profound peace as you sit with your cat, sharing this simple meal. It's moments like these, quiet and unassuming, that define the rhythm of your ancient life. The gentle scratching sound of Bastet eating, the soft warmth of the evening, all contribute to a feeling of deep, almost primordial contentment. You consider the small, often overlooked details of daily life that bring such profound joy. It's not the grand ceremonies or the monumental constructions that truly define your existence, but rather these intimate interactions, these shared moments of peace with a creature that demands little but gives so much. You might even find yourself marveling at the simple elegance of Bastet's form, the way her muscles ripple beneath her fur as she moves, the perfect balance of her body. It's a living work of art, a miniature deity in your home. You remember hearing tales of cats being used in rituals, not just as symbols, but as active participants, their presence believed to enhance the spiritual connection. It's a fascinating thought, the idea of your own Bastet, normally content to nap, suddenly imbued with a sacred purpose. You lean back against the cool mud brick wall, watching her finish her meal. She cleans her face with a paw, meticulously grooming herself, a creature of habit and cleanliness. It's a comforting sight, a reminder of the order and simplicity in your world. The stars are beginning to emerge, tiny pinpricks of light in the vast, darkening sky. The gentle night breeze whispers through the open doorway, carrying the faint scent of the desert. You feel a wave of sleepy contentment wash over you, a feeling of deep relaxation that comes from a day well lived and a companionship well cherished. The rhythmic sound of Bastet's purr, now a little louder after her meal, is your lullaby, guiding you gently towards the quiet embrace of sleep. The last rays of sunlight have faded, leaving your humble home bathed in the soft glow of an oil lamp. Its flickering flame casts dancing shadows on the walls, making the familiar shapes of your belongings seem to shift and sway. Bastet, having finished her meal, has curled into a tight ball on her designated sleeping mat, a plush woven reed mat that you made yourself, designed to keep her comfortable and warm. You find yourself watching her, admiring the effortless way she folds her body, her tail tucked neatly around her paws. This devotion to animal comfort was a mainstream historical fact, often reflected in the elaborate burial practices for pets, which sometimes included miniature sarcophagi and grave goods. The lengths to which you would go to ensure your cat's well-being, even in death, speak volumes about the depth of your affection. You might have already started collecting small, smooth river stones, ready to be placed in Bastet's eventual tomb, a simple offering to aid her journey to the dot. The quirky tidbit here is that ancient Egyptians sometimes shaved off their eyebrows as a sign of mourning when their beloved cat died, a public display of grief that would strike a modern observer as intensely dramatic. Imagine waking up one morning and seeing your neighbors, or even your local merchant, with freshly shaven eyebrows, a clear indicator of a recent loss. It's a powerful testament to the emotional impact these creatures had on their human companions, a shared communal grief that bonded people in their sorrow. Historians still argue whether the shaving of eyebrows was a universal practice across all social classes or primarily limited to the more affluent, who had the leisure to indulge in such elaborate mourning rituals. As you adjust the wick of your oil lamp, a faint scent of olive oil fills the air. You remember the solemn procession of a neighbor who recently lost their cherished feline, the hushed whispers, the genuine tears. It was a poignant reminder of the fragility of life, even for a creature so revered. You yourself felt a pang of sorrow, a shared empathy for their loss. You gently reach out and stroke Bastet's soft fur as she sleeps. Her breathing is shallow and even, a picture of tranquil repose. You think about the myriad ways cats integrated into Egyptian society, not just as pets, but as symbols of fertility, protection, and the sun's warmth. The sun god Ra was sometimes depicted as a cat, particularly in his aggressive aspects, symbolizing the sun's power to conquer darkness. This duality, the gentle domestic companion and the fierce divine entity, makes them all the more fascinating. You recall a small amulet you wear around your neck, a tiny, intricately carved cat figure, a gift from your mother. It's meant to ward off evil spirits and bring good luck, a constant reminder of the protective power of the feline. You trace its smooth contours with your thumb, feeling a sense of quiet reassurance. The night outside your home is now complete, a canvas of deepest indigo dotted with countless stars. The air is cool and dry, a welcome change after the heat of the day. The distant sound of crickets chirping provides a gentle, rhythmic background hum, blending with the soft hiss of the oil lamp. You settle down on your own mat, preparing for sleep. Your gaze drifts back to Bastet, a small, dark shape in the flickering lamplight. Her presence is a comfort, a silent guardian in the darkness. You might even find yourself whispering a quiet prayer to Bastet, the goddess, asking for peaceful dreams and protection through the night. It's a simple act of faith, a quiet acknowledgement of the divine presence you feel so strongly in your furry companion. You remember hearing stories of cats being buried with mice, or even small birds, to ensure they had provisions for their afterlife journey, a rather morbid but endearing detail. You smile softly at the thought, a gentle amusement bubbling up inside you. It's a testament to the vivid imagination and deep belief system of your people. You think about the peculiar way Bastet sometimes seems to know your moods, offering a comforting purr when you are feeling down, or playful nudges when you need a distraction. It's a bond that transcends words, a silent understanding built on trust and affection. You close your eyes, the warmth of the oil lamp on your face, the gentle sounds of the night seeping into your consciousness. The image of Bastet, curled in peaceful slumber, is the last thought before sleep claims you. This quiet companionship, this unwavering presence, is a source of profound calm and relaxation in your ancient Egyptian life. It's a luxury, perhaps, to have a creature that brings such simple, unadulterated joy, but it's a luxury you cherish deeply. The rhythmic sound of your own breathing, coupled with the faint, almost imperceptible purr that still emanates from Bastet's direction, forms a lullaby, a soft melody that guides you deeper into the embrace of sleep. You feel utterly safe, nestled within the protective aura of your home and your beloved cat. You awaken with the first hint of dawn, a soft grey light seeping through the open doorway. The air is cool and crisp, carrying the faint, earthy scent of the Nile. Bastet, ever the early riser, is already awake, stretching luxuriously on her mat, her front paws extended, claws gently kneading the woven reeds. You watch her for a moment, admiring her fluid grace, before she hops down and pads silently towards you. She rubs against your leg, a low, contented purr vibrating in her chest, a gentle greeting to the new day. This morning ritual, the quiet acknowledgement between you and your feline companion, is a cornerstone of your oddly relaxing habits. You know that cats were not just pets, but also integral to the spiritual well-being of the household, a mainstream historical fact that is evident in the numerous protective amulets and household shrines dedicated to Bastet. You might have a small clay figure of the goddess Bastet on a shelf, adorned with a fresh lotus blossom each morning, a silent prayer for her continued protection over your home and family. The quirky tidbit here is that in some temple complexes, cats were kept in large, communal enclosures, almost like feline monasteries, where they were cared for by priests and used in religious ceremonies. Imagine hundreds of cats, all meticulously cared for, their purrs creating a low, resonant hum throughout the sacred grounds. It's a powerful image, a testament to the institutionalized reverence for these creatures. Historians still argue whether these temple cats were primarily seen as living embodiments of the goddess, or as symbolic representations of her power and fertility. As Bastet weaves between your legs, her tail held high in a graceful curve, you rise and prepare for the day. Your first task, even before fetching water from the well, is to offer a small portion of milk to Bastet. It's a simple act, but one imbued with a quiet reverence, a way of acknowledging her divine connection and ensuring her continued favor. You watch her lap at the milk, her small pink tongue a blur, her intense focus a testament to the simple pleasures of life. You think about the various forms Bastet was depicted in, sometimes as a lioness, fierce and protective, sometimes as a domestic cat, gentle and nurturing. This duality speaks to the complex nature of the goddess and the multifaceted role of cats in Egyptian society. You recall a time when your neighbor's young child was ill, and their family brought their beloved cat to sleep near the child, believing its presence would ward off evil spirits and bring healing. It was a common belief, a testament to the perceived protective powers of cats. You even remember seeing small cat figurines placed in children's cribs, miniature guardians for the most vulnerable among you. The morning sun begins to climb higher, casting longer shadows across the floor. The sounds of the village slowly come to life. The distant braying of a donkey, the chatter of neighbors, the rhythmic thump of a pestle in a mortar. But within your home, there is a quiet calm, a peaceful beginning to the day that is largely thanks to the steady, comforting presence of Bastet. You might even find yourself humming a soft, ancient tune as you go about your morning chores, the rhythm of your movements mirroring the quiet contentedness within you. The feel of the smooth clay water jar in your hands, the cool water splashing gently as you fill it, all contribute to this sense of calm. You think about the small, intricate cat collars that were sometimes made for royal cats, adorned with precious stones and hieroglyphs, symbols of immense wealth and prestige. It's a stark contrast to Bastet's simple, unadorned existence, yet you wouldn't trade her for any royal pet. Her quiet companionship is worth more than all the jewels in Egypt. You remember the stories of cats being trained to hunt birds and fish for their owners, a practical skill that added to their value beyond their spiritual significance. While Bastet is primarily a pampered companion, you know she possesses those innate instincts, a silent, watchful hunter even in her slumber. You watch as she meticulously cleans her face, a creature of precise rituals and unwavering self-care. It's a small detail, but one that speaks volumes about their inherent grace and cleanliness. You feel a quiet sense of satisfaction as you observe her, a gentle wave of relaxation washing over you as the day begins. The sun now fills the doorway, a bright rectangle of light against the cool shadows of your home. The day has truly begun, and you are ready for it, bolstered by the serene presence of your beloved feline. It's a reminder that even in an ancient world, the simple act of caring for and connecting with an animal can bring immense peace and profound contentment, a truly oddly relaxing habit. As the morning progresses, the sun climbs higher, and the gentle warmth begins to permeate your home. Bastet, after her breakfast and a thorough grooming session, has found her favorite spot, a patch of sun-drenched floor near the western wall, where she stretches out, a picture of absolute feline bliss. You watch her, a slow smile spreading across your face. The very sight of her in such a state of relaxed contentment is a calming influence on your day. You know that depictions of cats in ancient Egyptian art, particularly their lounging and sunbathing poses, were not just artistic renditions, but often reflected the actual behavior observed by their owners, a mainstream historical fact that showcases the Egyptians' keen eye for natural detail. These weren't idealized representations. They were often strikingly realistic, capturing the very essence of feline grace and indolence. You might find yourself pausing in your chores, simply to watch Bastet stretch and purr, letting her serene presence wash over you. The quirky tidbit here is that some archaeological digs have uncovered ancient Egyptian cat toys, often simple balls made of woven reeds or small, carved wooden figures, suggesting that even in antiquity, people understood the importance of play for their feline companions. Imagine a small, smooth stone, polished by centuries of river water, tied to a string, providing hours of entertainment for a curious kitten. It's a charming detail that highlights the enduring nature of the human-pet bond. Historians still argue whether these toys were specifically manufactured for cats, or if they were repurposed household items that simply happened to capture a cat's attention. You consider this as you watch Bastet bat playfully at a stray fly, her movements surprisingly agile for a creature so recently steeped in slumber. You recall a time when your own young child, now grown and out of the house, would spend hours rolling a small clay ball across the floor, enticing Bastet into a game of chase. The simple joy in those moments is etched into your memory, a timeless scene of childhood and animal companionship. You think about the intricate hieroglyphs that sometimes accompanied cat depictions, describing their loyalty, their protective nature, and their connection to the divine. These weren't just animals. They were part of the very fabric of Egyptian mythology and daily belief. You might even find yourself reciting a short, ancient poem to Bastet, a gentle verse praising her beauty and grace, a quiet act of devotion that no one else needs to witness. The warmth of the sun is now quite strong, and the air in your home is still and pleasant. The distant sounds of the marketplace begin to swell as the day reaches its peak, but within your walls, there is a quiet sanctuary. Bastet, having tired of her fly hunting game, closes her eyes again, her purr a soft, almost inaudible hum. You feel a sense of profound contentment, a peacefulness that emanates from the very presence of your feline companion. You might even find yourself taking a quiet nap, lulled by the gentle rhythm of Bastet's breathing and the warmth of the sun. It's a common occurrence in your household, a shared moment of midday repose. You remember the stories of how a cat's purr was believed to have healing properties, capable of soothing ailments and bringing comfort to the sick. Whether true or not, you certainly feel a sense of calm and well-being when Bastet is purring near you. You consider the importance of cleanliness in ancient Egyptian society and how this extended to their pets. You regularly brush Bastet's fur with a rough piece of linen, keeping it free of dust and tangles, an act of grooming that is both practical and affectionate. She tolerates it, purring softly, a testament to her trust in you. You observe the tiny whiskers twitching on her face as she dreams, perhaps chasing imaginary mice or basking in an eternal sunbeam. It's a whimsical thought, one that brings a gentle smile to your lips. The air outside your home is now alive with the sounds of the bustling day. But within your walls, a timeless peace prevails, a calm fostered by the quiet companionship of your cat. You feel deeply relaxed, almost to the point of drowsiness, the sheer presence of Bastet creating an atmosphere of profound tranquility. This habit of finding solace in your cat's stillness, in her simple existence, is a true balm for your ancient soul. It's an oddly relaxing habit, indeed, one that you wouldn't trade for anything. As the sun begins its slow descent towards the western horizon, painting the sky in hues of soft orange and rose, your home takes on a different feel. The harsh midday glare has softened, replaced by a gentle, diffused light that makes the shadows lengthen and deepen. Bastet, ever sensitive to the changing light, has moved from her sunbeam, now perched regally on a slightly elevated ledge you crafted for her, a small, polished stone slab warmed by the afternoon sun. From this vantage point, she oversees her domain, her eyes half closed in watchful contemplation. This careful consideration of a cat's comfort and preferred resting spots was a mainstream historical fact, showing an understanding of their needs that went beyond mere utility. You might have noticed that she prefers higher places, a feline instinct for security and observation, and so you provided it, a silent acknowledgement of her preferences. The quirky tidbit here is that some wealthy ancient Egyptians even commissioned portraits of their beloved cats, immortalizing their feline companions in exquisite detail on papyrus or tomb walls, often alongside themselves. Imagine an ancient artist meticulously rendering every whisker and fur pattern of your Bastet, capturing her unique essence for eternity. It's a level of artistic dedication that speaks volumes about the value placed on these animals. Historians still argue whether these portraits were purely commemorative, or if they also served a religious purpose, ensuring the cat's presence in the afterlife. You consider this as you watch Bastet, her silhouette sharp against the deepening twilight. You recall seeing a vibrant fresco in a nobleman's tomb, depicting a family cat chasing a butterfly, its playful spirit captured forever. It was a fleeting glimpse into the personal lives of the ancient elite, a reminder that the love for cats transcended social strata. You might even find yourself attempting a crude sketch of Bastet on a spare piece of papyrus, trying to capture the unique tilt of her head, the elegant curve of her tail, a private artistic endeavor inspired by your companion. The air outside is growing cooler, and the sounds of evening activity begin to drift in through the doorway, the distant bleating of goats, the soft murmur of conversations from neighboring homes. But within your walls, a quiet calm prevails, a gentle stillness that Bastet's presence seems to amplify. You find yourself settling into a comfortable position, perhaps on a woven mat, and simply watching her, letting her serene composure seep into your own being. It's a meditative practice, a quiet communion that requires no words. You recall the stories of cats being taken on hunting expeditions, not just for their ability to flush out game, but also for their perceived good luck, their mere presence believed to ensure a successful hunt. This added another layer to their already multifaceted role in society. You think about the elaborate funerary processions, sometimes held for important cats, miniature replicas of human funerals, complete with mourners and offerings. It underscores the profound sense of loss and reverence felt by their owners. You notice the way Bastet's ears occasionally twitch, picking up sounds imperceptible to your own ears, a testament to her keen senses. Her eyes, now glowing faintly in the dim light, seem to hold ancient secrets, a wisdom far beyond her years. The gentle flicker of the oil lamp provides the only artificial light now, casting warm, dancing shadows on the walls. You feel a deep sense of peaceful contentment, a quiet joy that comes from the presence of your beloved feline. This quiet observation, this shared evening ritual, is a truly oddly relaxing habit, a gentle winding down of the day, steeped in the comforting presence of your cat. You might even find yourself drifting into a light doze, lulled by the stillness and the quiet contentment that permeates your home. The lingering scent of dried herbs and the faint musk of Bastet's fur fill the air, creating a comforting aroma that contributes to the overall sense of tranquility. It's a perfect ending to another day in ancient Egypt, a day made infinitely more peaceful by the purring presence of your cherished companion. You wouldn't trade these moments of quiet companionship for anything. The darkness of night has fully enveloped your home, broken only by the steady glow of your oil lamp. Its soft light creates a warm, inviting pool, pushing back the encroaching shadows. Bastet, having finished her evening watch, has now settled near your sleeping mat, a warm, reassuring presence. Her rhythmic breathing, a soft, almost imperceptible whisper, is a comforting backdrop to the quiet of the night. You know that cats were often associated with protection against evil spirits and snakes, especially at night, a mainstream historical fact deeply rooted in ancient Egyptian belief systems. Their keen senses and nocturnal habits made them ideal guardians, silent sentinels against unseen threats. You might even find yourself feeling a greater sense of security knowing Bastet is nearby. Her watchful eyes are deterrent to any malevolent forces. The quirky tidbit here is that some amulets worn by Egyptians, particularly those for protection, were shaped like cats, even incorporating feline features into human-headed deities, emphasizing their protective power. Imagine a small, intricately carved cat's head, worn close to your skin, a constant reminder of the vigilance and safeguarding influence of the feline. It's a tactile connection to the divine power embodied by these creatures. Historians still argue whether these amulets were primarily for personal protection or also served as a broader symbol of devotion to Bastet. As you prepare for sleep, you carefully extinguish the oil lamp, plunging the room into near darkness, save for the faint glow of the distant moon seeping through the open doorway. Bastet shifts slightly her eyes, like emeralds in the gloom, reflecting the moonlight. You recall the numerous stories of cats being revered for their ability to see in the dark, a magical quality that further cemented their association with the mysterious hours of night. You think about the various nocturnal creatures that might stir outside your home, scorpions, snakes, rats, and you feel a quiet gratitude for Bastet's vigilant presence, even in her sleep. You might even find yourself whispering a quiet goodnight to her, a simple, affectionate gesture before you drift off. The cool night air carries the faint scent of desert dust and the distant, almost inaudible chirping of crickets. It's a peaceful sound, one that lulls you into a state of deep relaxation. You feel the soft, cool texture of your linen sleeping sheet against your skin, a comforting sensation. Your gaze drifts to Bastet, a dark, graceful form beside you. Her purr, a low rumble, vibrates subtly through the floor, a gentle, rhythmic sound that is inherently soothing. You remember the stories of how the Egyptians believed that cats had 9 lives, a concept that likely stemmed from their remarkable agility and resilience. It's a whimsical thought, one that brings a quiet smile to your face in the darkness. You consider the simple, uncomplicated devotion you feel for Bastet, a love that transcends the daily struggles of ancient life. It's a pure, unadulterated affection that brings immense joy and comfort. You think about the quiet trust she places in you, her complete reliance on your care and protection. It's a reciprocal relationship, a silent agreement of companionship and mutual respect. The rhythmic sound of your own breathing begins to synchronize with the soft, steady breaths of your sleeping cat. You feel a profound sense of security, a peaceful embrace of the night. There's a certain intimacy in this shared silence, this quiet communion between you and your feline companion. You drift deeper into sleep, the image of Bastet's watchful eyes, even in slumber, providing a comforting presence. This nightly ritual, the quiet assurance of your cat's proximity, is one of your most cherished and oddly relaxing habits. It's a small, personal luxury that brings immense peace to your ancient Egyptian world, a world that can often be harsh and unforgiving. The first stirrings of dawn once again filter into your home, painting the eastern sky in soft, ethereal hues. Bastet, ever punctual, is already stretching, her slender body uncoiling with a graceful ease. You observe her, a creature of elegant routine, and feel a gentle wave of contentment wash over you. This daily rhythm, anchored by the presence of your cat, contributes significantly to the tranquil flow of your ancient life. You know that the ancient Egyptians were pioneers in animal husbandry, not just for practical purposes, but often out of a genuine appreciation for the creatures themselves, a mainstream historical fact, often overlooked in favor of grander narratives. Their understanding of animal behavior and their commitment to animal welfare extended far beyond mere utility, suggesting a deep empathy. The quirky tidbit here is that some noble families would even have their cats attend banquets, sitting at their feet or on specially designed cushions, participating in the evening's festivities, a true integration into family life. Imagine a small, regal cat reclining on a velvet cushion, accepting choice morsels of food from its doting owner. It's a scene that speaks volumes about the pampered existence of some ancient Egyptian felines. Historians still argue whether this was a widespread practice or confined to the very highest echelons of society, a sign of extreme wealth and status. As Bastet pads silently to your side, a soft purr vibrating in her throat, you reach out and gently scratch behind her ears. She leans into your touch, her purr deepening, a sign of her quiet satisfaction. You recall the numerous depictions of cats in domestic settings, nestled on laps, playing with children, or simply observing the household, a constant reminder of their pervasive presence in ancient Egyptian homes. You think about the offerings sometimes left for cats in their tombs, not just food, but miniature versions of their favorite toys or even small, intricately carved combs for grooming, ensuring their comfort in the afterlife. It's a poignant testament to the depth of affection felt by their owners. You might even find yourself meticulously cleaning Bastet's miniature feeding bowl, ensuring it is spotless before you offer her fresh milk, a small but significant act of devotion. The morning air is cool and refreshing, carrying the faint scent of freshly baked bread from a neighboring household. The world outside is beginning to awaken, but within your home, a peaceful stillness reigns, broken only by the soft sounds of your morning rituals. You feel a quiet sense of readiness for the day ahead, bolstered by the calming presence of your feline companion. You remember the stories of how cats were sometimes used as diplomatic gifts between pharaohs and foreign rulers, highly prized for their rarity and symbolic importance. It's a testament to their value beyond mere companionship. You consider the unique bond you share with Bastet, a silent communication built on mutual trust and affection. There's a profound simplicity in this connection, a stripping away of the complexities of human interaction, leaving only pure, unadulterated care. You observe the way Bastet stretches again, a long, languid movement that showcases her inherent grace. She yawns, a tiny, almost imperceptible sound, revealing a flash of tiny, sharp teeth. It's a moment of quiet perfection, a creature utterly at ease in its surroundings. The sun's first rays now spill into your home, painting streaks of warm gold across the floor. You feel a familiar sense of calm wash over you, a gentle wave of relaxation that starts with the quiet hum of Bastet's purr and spreads throughout your entire being. This morning communion, this shared beginning of the day, is a cherished and oddly relaxing habit that anchors your ancient Egyptian life. It's a reminder that even in a world vastly different from your own, the simple joys of animal companionship remain a timeless source of peace and contentment. You wouldn't trade it for anything. Mid-morning in your ancient Egyptian home finds you engaged in routine tasks, perhaps grinding grain for flour or weaving a length of linen. The rhythmic sounds of your labor, the gentle scrape of stone on stone, or the soft thud of the loom, blend seamlessly with the quiet hum of your household. Bastet, ever the keen observer, sits perched on a high shelf, her eyes half closed, occasionally flicking open to watch your movements. This shared, quiet domesticity, the feeling of a presence without intrusion, is a hallmark of your oddly relaxing habits. You know that cats were often depicted as overseeing household activities, silently watching over their human families, a mainstream historical fact that speaks to their perceived role as guardians and protectors of the home. They weren't just decorative, they were an integral part of the living environment. The quirky tidbit here is that some tomb paintings show cats wearing elaborate collars or even tiny, bell-adorned necklaces, suggesting a degree of personal adornment and possibly even a practical purpose for tracking their movements within larger households. Imagine a faint jingle accompanying Bastet's every step, a tiny symphony announcing her presence. It's a charming detail that hints at the playful side of ancient Egyptian pet ownership. Historians still argue whether these bells were common or confined to elite pets, and if their purpose was purely decorative or also served to ward off evil spirits with their sound. You consider this as you watch Bastet, her posture regal and serene. You recall seeing an illustration of a cat wearing a collar adorned with an ankh, the symbol of life, a powerful visual testament to their sacred significance. You might even find yourself crafting a small, intricately beaded collar for Bastet, not with a bell, but perhaps with a tiny feather, a silent acknowledgement of her grace and beauty. You think about the various roles cats played beyond pest control and spiritual protection, often serving as companions for children and the elderly, providing comfort and companionship in times of loneliness. Their gentle nature and quiet presence made them ideal therapeutic companions. You recall a time when your own grandmother, in her later years, found immense comfort in the presence of her cat, its soft purr a constant source of solace. The sun, now high in the sky, cast bright patterns on the floor, shifting and dancing as the day progresses. The air is warm and dry, carrying the faint scent of baking bread from a distant neighbor's oven. The sounds of the village are a distant hum, a comforting backdrop to the quiet industry of your home. You feel a profound sense of peace in this shared domestic space, a tranquility fostered by the gentle rhythm of your chores and the serene presence of Bastet. You might even find yourself occasionally offering a soft word to her, a quiet endearment. Even though you know she cannot understand the words themselves, only the gentle tone of your voice. You remember stories of cats being believed to carry messages between the human and divine worlds, their mysterious nature making them ideal conduits for spiritual communication. It adds another layer to their already mystical aura. You observe the way Bastet meticulously grooms herself, her small tongue rasping over her fur, a testament to her innate fastidiousness. It's a comforting sight, a creature at ease in its own skin, utterly content. The sheer simplicity of her existence, focused on eating, sleeping, and quiet observation, is oddly calming. You reflect on the way she seems to embody a quiet wisdom, her knowing eyes seeming to penetrate beyond the surface of things. You lean back slightly, feeling the warm mud brick against your back, letting the gentle sounds of your home wash over you. The soft scratch of Bastet's paws as she occasionally shifts on her perch, the faint rustle of linen as you work, all contribute to a feeling of profound tranquility. This midday calm shared with your feline companion is a truly oddly relaxing habit, a moment of peace in the midst of your daily life. The afternoon sun casts long, stretched shadows across your home, signaling the slow descent of the day. The air, once warm and still, now carries a gentle breeze, a welcome respite. Bastet, ever the connoisseur of comfort, has moved from her high perch and is now draped across a cool, smooth stone slab near the doorway, her sleek body a picture of liquid relaxation. You observe her, a quiet muse in your ancient life. This keen understanding of a cat's preference for cool surfaces in the Egyptian heat was a mainstream historical fact, showing a practical yet empathetic approach to their care. You instinctively know where the coolest spots in your home are, and you appreciate that Bastet seeks them out, finding her own small pockets of comfort. The quirky tidbit here is that some archaeological evidence suggests that ancient Egyptians even created small, shaded structures or overhangs specifically for their outdoor cats, providing them with respite from the harsh sun and a secure place to rest. Imagine a tiny, thatched shelter in your courtyard, a miniature haven just for Bastet. It speaks to a level of care and consideration that goes beyond simple pet ownership. Historians still argue whether these structures were common for all cat owners or primarily for those with ample resources and space. As you watch Bastet, her tail occasionally twitching in a slow, almost imperceptible rhythm, you remember seeing drawings on pottery depicting cats sheltering under palm trees, their graceful forms finding shade in the arid landscape. You think about the various plants and herbs the ancient Egyptians used for their medicinal properties, and you recall hearing whispers of certain herbs being particularly soothing for animals, perhaps even used to calm anxious cats during long journeys. You might even find yourself crushing a few fragrant mint leaves, placing them near Bastet, believing their soothing aroma will enhance her already peaceful slumber. The sounds of the afternoon are a gentle hum, the distant voices of children playing, the rhythmic splash of water from a nearby well, the soft rustle of reeds in the wind. But within your home, there is a profound stillness, a quiet peace that is amplified by Bastet's serene presence. You feel a deep sense of relaxation as you sit quietly, Perhaps weaving a basket or preparing vegetables for the evening meal, your gaze occasionally drifting to your sleeping cat. It's a shared tranquility, a silent communion that requires no effort. You remember the stories of cats being so valued that harming one, even accidentally, could result in severe punishment, even death, a testament to their sacred status and the protective laws surrounding them. This fact underscores the immense reverence held for these animals in ancient Egyptian society. You reflect on the simple joys that Bastet brings to your life, her soft purr, her gentle nudges, her playful antics. These are the moments that truly enrich your days, adding a layer of warmth and comfort to your existence. You observe the way her whiskers twitch slightly as she dreams, perhaps chasing imaginary mice or enjoying a celestial fish feast. It's a whimsical thought, one that brings a gentle smile to your lips. The light in the room continues to soften, taking on a golden glow as the sun dips lower. You feel a deep sense of gratitude for this creature, this silent companion who brings so much peace to your life. The quiet companionship, the shared moments of stillness, are truly oddly relaxing habits, a balm for your ancient soul in the bustling world of Egypt. You wouldn't trade these moments for anything, finding immense comfort in the simple, unadulterated presence of your feline friend. The gentle rise and fall of her chest, the almost imperceptible movement of her paws, all contribute to a hypnotic rhythm that lulls you into a state of profound peace. As the sun begins its final descent, casting long, dramatic shadows across the landscape, your home fills with a rich, golden light. Bastet, ever a creature of habit, is now awake, her eyes wide and luminous, observing the world with a quiet intensity. You find yourself preparing the evening meal, the comforting aromas of simmering lentils and baking bread filling the air. This shared domestic ritual, the anticipation of food, is a quiet pleasure you share with your feline companion. You know that cats were often present during family meals, sometimes even receiving special portions or offerings. A mainstream historical fact that highlights their integration into the very heart of the ancient Egyptian household. They weren't relegated to the periphery, they were central to family life. The quirky tidbit here is that some ancient Egyptian texts refer to specific cat names, suggesting a personalized bond and a desire to give these animals individual identities beyond their general species. Imagine your neighbor calling out for their cat, you! Or Nefa! Recognizing them as unique members of the family. It's a touching detail that humanizes the ancient relationship with cats. Historians still argue whether these recorded names were common for all pet owners or primarily for the more affluent, whose lives were more extensively documented. As Bastet weaves around your legs, her tail held high, a silent request for attention and a hint of hunger, you gently stroke her fur. She rubs against your ankles, a soft, sandpaper-like sensation that is oddly comforting. You recall seeing tomb paintings depicting cats sitting under the chairs of their owners during feasts, patiently awaiting their share, a testament to their disciplined nature and the generosity of their human companions. You think about the offerings of milk and fish often left at household shrines dedicated to Bastet, a continuous stream of devotion that underscored the cat's sacred status. You might even find yourself adding a small, special portion of your evening fish to a clean, small bowl for Bastet, ensuring she eats before you, a gesture of respect and affection. The sounds of the evening are growing louder, the distant chatter of neighbors, the rhythmic thud of a loom from a nearby house, the lowing of cattle returning from the fields. But within your home, a quiet harmony prevails, a peaceful rhythm established by centuries of domestic life. You feel a deep sense of contentment as you prepare your meal, your movements calm and deliberate, a reflection of the tranquil atmosphere. You remember the stories of how certain pharaohs were said to have had particularly large and magnificent cats, often adorned with precious jewelry, symbols of their power and divine connection. While Bastet is a humble household cat, you feel she possesses a majesty all her own. You reflect on the simple trust that Bastet places in you, her quiet presence a constant reminder of your responsibility and care for her. It's a bond that transcends words, a silent understanding that deepens with each passing day. You observe the way Bastet's eyes, luminous in the dimming light, follow your every move, a quiet alertness that is both comforting and captivating. She yawns, a tiny, elegant stretch of her jaw, before settling down near your feet, patiently awaiting her portion. The aroma of your meal intensifies, a promise of nourishment and comfort. You feel a profound sense of peace as you finally sit down to eat, with Bastet contentedly munching on her own portion nearby. This shared meal, this quiet evening ritual, is a truly oddly relaxing habit, a gentle culmination of your day, steeped in the comforting presence of your cherished feline. It's a moment of simple joy that transcends the demands of ancient life, a quiet sanctuary you wouldn't trade for anything. The moon, a slender crescent, now hangs in the inky blackness of the night sky, casting a soft, ethereal glow over your quiet village. Inside your home, the oil lamp casts its familiar, flickering light, creating a warm, intimate atmosphere. Bastet, having satisfied her hunger, has found a comfortable spot on your sleeping mat, a soft mound of linen, and is meticulously grooming herself. The rhythmic rasp of her tongue on her fur is a soothing sound, a testament to her innate fastidiousness. This meticulous self-grooming, and the Egyptians' appreciation for it, was a mainstream historical fact, contributing to the cat's image as a clean and elegant creature. You often find yourself admiring her dedication to cleanliness, a stark contrast to the dust and grime of daily life outside. The quirky tidbit here is that some ancient Egyptian households even had special brushes or combs, often made of bone or wood, specifically for grooming their cats, highlighting a level of dedicated care and attention to their pets' hygiene. Imagine a tiny, intricately carved comb used daily to keep Bastet's fur sleek and shiny. It speaks to a deep personal investment in their welfare and appearance. Historians still argue whether these grooming tools were commonplace or primarily for the more pampered pets of the wealthy. As Bastet continues her diligent cleaning, her ears swiveling to catch the faintest sound, you settle down for the night. You recall seeing illustrations in tomes of cats, elegantly stretching and cleaning themselves, capturing their natural grace with remarkable accuracy. You think about the various feline behaviors the Egyptians observed and incorporated into their mythology, such as the cat's ability to land on its feet, a sign of their inherent balance and resilience, perhaps even contributing to the myth of their 9 lives. You might even find yourself gently stroking Bastet's fur, feeling its silky texture beneath your fingers, an act of quiet affection that she tolerates, pausing her grooming for a moment before resuming. The night outside is still and quiet, broken only by the distant hoot of an owl or the faint rustle of palm fronds in the gentle breeze. The air is cool and dry, a pleasant contrast to the heat of the day. Within your home, a profound sense of peace descends, a quiet calm that is amplified by Bastet's presence. You feel a deep sense of contentment as you prepare for sleep, your mind unburdened by the day's worries. You remember the stories of how cats were sometimes buried with luxury items, such as fine linens or even miniature pieces of jewelry, reflecting the owner's desire to provide for their beloved pet in the afterlife. It's a poignant testament to the deep love and commitment felt by ancient Egyptian cat owners. You reflect on the simple joys of having Bastet in your life, her quiet companionship, her independent spirit, and her unwavering presence. She brings a unique warmth and vibrancy to your home, making it feel complete. You observe the way she finally curls into a tight ball, a soft mound of fur and bone, her breathing slow and even, a picture of tranquil slumber. The rhythmic sound of her purr, now a soft, almost imperceptible hum, is a gentle lullaby, guiding you deeper into the embrace of sleep. This nightly ritual, the shared quietness and the comforting presence of your feline companion, is one of your most cherished and oddly relaxing habits, a true balm for your ancient soul. You wouldn't trade these moments of peaceful companionship for anything, finding immense comfort in the simple, unadulterated presence of your feline friend. The very air around you seems to resonate with the quiet energy of her sleeping form, creating a sanctuary of calm. The pre-dawn hours are the quietest, a time when the world seems to hold its breath before the sun's reappearance. In the hushed stillness of your home, illuminated only by the faint starlight filtering through the doorway, you might stir from a dream and immediately become aware of Bastet's soft, rhythmic breathing beside you. This consistent, reassuring presence, even in the deepest hours of the night, is a core element of your oddly relaxing habits. You know that cats were believed to be particularly attuned to the spirit world, acting as intermediaries between the living and the dead, a mainstream historical fact that imbued them with a mystical significance. Their nocturnal habits and keen senses further reinforced this belief. You might find yourself feeling a subtle sense of protection emanating from Bastet, even as she sleeps soundly, a silent guardian against whatever spirits might wander in the darkness. The quirky tidbit here is that some funerary masks or sarcophagi for high-ranking individuals were found with intricate cat carvings or images, suggesting a desire to carry the protective and comforting presence of their feline companions into the afterlife. Imagine a pharaoh's sarcophagus, adorned with elegant depictions of his cherished cat, ensuring its companionship for eternity. It's a testament to the profound spiritual and emotional connection. Historians still argue whether these cat images on funerary objects were purely symbolic or also served as a personal wish for the specific pet to join them in the afterlife. As you lie awake in the quiet darkness, your gaze drifts to Bastet's sleeping form. You recall the stories of cat goddesses, not just Bastet, but other feline deities who embodied various aspects of protection and fertility, reinforcing the pervasive sacredness of cats. You think about the rituals performed to honor deceased cats, often involving elaborate processions and offerings, a societal acknowledgement of their value and the profound grief of their owners. You might even find yourself whispering a quiet prayer of gratitude for Bastet's presence, thanking the gods for the peace and companionship she brings to your life. The air is cool and still, carrying the faint, earthy scent of the Nile. The only sounds are the distant, almost imperceptible chirping of crickets and the soft, steady rhythm of Bastet's breathing. It's a profound stillness, a moment of deep introspection and quiet appreciation. You feel a sense of profound peace wash over you, a calm that comes from the simple fact of her being there. You remember the tales of cats being able to ward off nightmares and bad dreams, their watchful presence ensuring a restful sleep. Whether you consciously believe it or not, you do find yourself sleeping more soundly with Bastet nearby. You reflect on the concept of home in ancient Egypt, and how intrinsically linked it was to the presence of cherished animals, particularly cats. They weren't just occupants. They were active participants in creating a sense of sanctuary and well-being. You observe the subtle twitch of Bastet's whiskers, a sign of her dreaming, perhaps of sunbeams and delicious fish. It's a charming image, one that brings a gentle smile to your face even in the darkness. The hours before dawn are a time of quiet anticipation, and Bastet's calm presence makes this waiting peaceful. You find yourself simply existing in the moment, enveloped by the stillness and the comforting warmth of her sleeping form. This quiet vigil, shared with your beloved feline, is a deeply personal and oddly relaxing habit, a secret source of tranquility in your ancient Egyptian world. You wouldn't trade these moments of quiet companionship for anything, finding immense comfort in the simple, unadulterated presence of your feline friend, a silent anchor in the vastness of the night. The first sliver of dawn breaks on the horizon, painting the eastern sky in soft, pale shades of rose and gold. Bastet, ever the herald of the new day, uncurls herself with a deliberate stretch, her lithe body moving with graceful precision. You watch her, feeling a familiar warmth spread through you, a quiet joy at the start of another day, blessed by her presence. This daily awakening alongside your feline companion is a central part of your oddly relaxing routine. You know that the ancient Egyptians were keen observers of natural cycles and animal behavior, often aligning their daily rituals with the rising and setting of the sun, a mainstream historical fact that influenced their entire way of life. The cats, with their own innate rhythms, fit seamlessly into this natural order. The quirky tidbit here is that in some households, a small offering of fresh water or milk was often placed out for the cats first thing in the morning, even before the family's own breakfast, signifying their prioritized position in the domestic hierarchy. Imagine the first chore of your day being to provide for your cherished feline, a small act of devotion repeated every morning. It's a testament to the deep respect and care given to these creatures. Historians still argue whether this practice was a symbolic offering to Bastet or a genuine act of providing for a valued family member. As Bastet lets out a soft, low meow, a gentle reminder of her presence, you rise and begin your morning preparations. You recall seeing artistic depictions of cats stretching and greeting the rising sun, their forms silhouetted against the dawn, a powerful image of their connection to the celestial cycles. You think about the numerous cat figurines found in tombs and homes, often placed facing east, symbolizing their connection to the sun and rebirth. You might even find yourself gently rubbing Bastet's head as you pass her, feeling the soft warmth of her fur, a silent acknowledgement of her role in bringing peace to your mornings. The air is cool and crisp, carrying the fresh scent of dew-kissed papyrus from the riverbank. The sounds of the village are still hushed, a gentle symphony of awakening, a distant rooster crowing, the soft rustle of palm fronds in the breeze, the barely audible murmur of early risers. But within your home, a profound stillness prevails, a quiet calm that is amplified by Bastet's serene presence. You feel a deep sense of readiness for the day ahead, your mind clear and refreshed, thanks in part to the tranquil start to your morning. You remember the stories of how cats were often employed in granaries to protect valuable grain stores from rodents, a practical application of their hunting prowess that made them indispensable to the Egyptian economy. While Bastet is primarily a pampered companion, you appreciate her innate capabilities. You reflect on the simple beauty of Bastet's movements, her fluid grace as she stretches and walks, a living embodiment of elegance. There's a certain effortless dignity about her, a quiet confidence that you admire. You observe the way she meticulously cleans her face, her tiny paws delicately wiping away any trace of sleep. It's a testament to her inherent cleanliness and self-care. The sun's first rays now stream through the doorway, painting your home in warm, golden light. You feel a sense of profound gratitude for this creature, this silent companion who brings so much peace and positive energy to your mornings. This shared awakening, this quiet communion with your beloved feline, is truly an oddly relaxing habit, a gentle beginning to your day that sets a tone of tranquility and contentment. You wouldn't trade these moments of peaceful companionship for anything, finding immense comfort in the simple, unadulterated presence of your feline friend, a quiet anchor in the rhythm of your ancient life. The morning sun has climbed higher, now illuminating your home with a bright, consistent glow. The air is warm and still, carrying the faint, sweet scent of incense that often permeates Egyptian homes, a blend of frankincense and myrrh. Bastet, having finished her morning rituals and meal, has settled into a favorite sunbeam, her eyes closed, her body a picture of serene contentment. You find yourself engaged in tasks that require focus, perhaps carefully weaving a basket or preparing pigments for painting, and you notice how her quiet presence enhances your concentration. This observation of cats contributing to a calming atmosphere was a mainstream historical fact, influencing their pervasive presence in both homes and temples. Their very stillness was believed to hold a protective and centering energy. The quirky tidbit here is that some ancient Egyptian burial sites have yielded finely crafted miniature cat mummies, sometimes no larger than a child's finger, suggesting either a symbolic offering or perhaps the mummification of kittens. Imagine a tiny, perfectly preserved kitten, testament to the profound emotional bond from the earliest stages of their lives. It's a poignant detail that speaks to the deep emotional connection. Historians still argue whether these tiny mummies were purely symbolic of fertility and rebirth, or if they represented beloved young pets. As you meticulously work on your task, the rhythmic purr of Bastet, a low rumble, becomes a soothing backdrop to your efforts. You recall seeing detailed illustrations in ancient texts depicting cats in various stages of life, from playful kittens to regal adults, showing a comprehensive understanding of their development and behavior. You think about the various forms of art inspired by cats, from monumental statues to delicate amulets, each capturing a different facet of their revered status. You might even find yourself pausing your work for a moment, to simply run your hand over Bastet's soft fur, feeling the warmth radiating from her body, a small, comforting interruption to your focus. The sounds of the day are now fully awake outside, the distant shouts of merchants, the clatter of pottery, the rhythmic thud of a boat being moored at the riverbank. But within your home, a quiet sanctuary prevails, a tranquil space that allows for deep concentration and peaceful introspection. You feel a profound sense of calm as you continue your work, your movements fluid and deliberate, a reflection of the serene atmosphere. You remember the stories of how certain cats were believed to be able to communicate with the gods, their meows and purrs interpreted as divine messages. While you don't necessarily take such tales literally, you do feel a certain profound connection to the sacred through Bastet. You reflect on the simple act of shared space and quiet presence, and how much peace it brings. There's a profound understanding that passes between you and Bastet without a single word, a silent language of affection and trust. You observe the way her ears occasionally twitch, picking up sounds you cannot hear, a testament to her heightened senses, even in slumber. The sun continues to climb higher, casting a warmer, almost sleepy glow on your home. You feel a deep sense of contentment, a peacefulness that emanates from the very presence of your feline companion. This shared quietude, This ability to find focus and calm in her presence is truly an oddly relaxing habit, a cornerstone of your ancient Egyptian life that brings immense peace and productivity. You wouldn't trade these moments of peaceful companionship for anything, finding immense comfort in the simple, unadulterated presence of your feline friend, a constant source of calm and creative inspiration. As the sun arcs towards its zenith, casting the most intense light of the day, your home feels warm and bathed in a brilliant glow. Bastet, ever resourceful, has found the coolest spot, a shaded corner near the largest storage jar, where she's curled into a compact ball, her breathing shallow and even. You find yourself seeking respite from the midday heat, perhaps sitting in a shaded courtyard or near a slightly open doorway, and your gaze often drifts to Bastet, a silent reminder of calm amidst the day's intensity. This understanding of a cat's need for coolness and rest during the hottest part of the day was a mainstream historical fact, a practical consideration in their care. You instinctively create comfortable, shaded spots for her, ensuring her well-being during the peak heat. The quirky tidbit here is that some ancient Egyptian grave stela, which are carved stone slabs, depict cats not just as family pets, but actively participating in hunting scenes, often with a collar and leash, suggesting they were trained companions rather than just wild hunters. Imagine a cat expertly retrieving a bird, a silent, efficient hunter working in tandem with its human owner. It showcases a highly developed level of animal training. Historians still argue whether this was a common practice for all hunting expeditions or primarily for specific, ceremonial hunts. As you observe Bastet, a picture of tranquil repose, you recall seeing tomb paintings of noblewomen with their cats sitting patiently beside them, often beneath their chairs, during garden parties or ceremonial gatherings. It speaks to their pervasive presence in both daily and ceremonial life. You think about the concept of Ma'at, the ancient Egyptian principle of truth, balance, order, harmony, law, morality, and justice, and how a balanced household, including well-cared-for animals, was seen as contributing to this cosmic order. Your care for Bastet isn't just personal, it's part of a larger moral framework. You might even find yourself murmuring a soft, ancient blessing over Bastet as she sleeps, a quiet wish for her continued peace and well-being. The sounds of the midday are a gentle hymn, the distant chatter of children, the rhythmic clang of a blacksmith's hammer from afar, the soft rustle of date palm fronds in the gentle breeze. But within your shaded retreat, a profound stillness prevails, a quiet calm that is amplified by Bastet's serene presence. You feel a deep sense of peace as you rest, your mind clear and unburdened, thanks in part to the tranquil atmosphere. You remember the stories of how cats were often included in family portraits or sculptures, immortalizing their place within the household for eternity. It underscores the profound emotional bond and respect felt for these animals. You reflect on the sheer elegance of Bastet's sleeping form, the way her muscles are relaxed, her breathing almost imperceptible. She is a master of rest, an inspiration in her ability to find ultimate comfort. You observe the subtle twitch of her whiskers, a sign of her dreaming, perhaps of chasing imaginary rodents in the cool shadows. It's a charming image, one that brings a gentle smile to your face even in the heat. The sun continues to blaze outside, but within your cool, shaded haven, a timeless peace prevails, a calm fostered by the quiet companionship of your cat. You feel deeply relaxed, almost to the point of drowsiness, the sheer presence of Bastet creating an atmosphere of profound tranquility. This habit of finding solace in your cat's stillness, in her simple existence, is a true balm for your ancient soul. It's an oddly relaxing habit, indeed, one that you wouldn't trade for anything, finding immense comfort in the silent, unadulterated presence of your feline friend, a quiet anchor in the heart of your ancient home. As the afternoon sun begins its gradual decline, casting the first long shadows of evening, your home takes on a softer, more reflective light. Bastet, ever alert to the changing light, slowly uncurls from her cool slumber, stretches languidly, and then begins her meticulous afternoon grooming. You find yourself watching her, captivated by the precise movements of her tongue and paws, an act of inherent grace that brings a quiet calm to your spirit. This natural cleanliness and self-care, observed and admired by the Egyptians, was a mainstream historical fact that contributed to the cat's reputation as an elegant and pure creature. You appreciate her fastidiousness, a small detail that adds to the overall harmony of your home. The quirky tidbit here is that some archaeological digs have uncovered ancient Egyptian pet cemeteries, where cats were buried with their owners, or in designated areas alongside other cherished animals, suggesting a shared journey into the afterlife. Imagine a family resting eternally, surrounded by their beloved feline companions, a testament to an unbreakable bond. It's a powerful and touching detail that speaks to the depth of connection. Historians still argue whether these pet cemeteries were common for all social classes, or primarily for the more affluent, who had the means to provide such elaborate burials. As Bastet diligently grooms herself, her purr a low, steady rumble, you recall seeing artistic depictions of cats grooming themselves, their forms captured with remarkable accuracy and admiration. You think about the various symbolic meanings attributed to feline purity and their role in maintaining order against chaos, much like the goddess Bastet herself. You might even find yourself retrieving a smooth, polished stone, one you've kept specifically for this purpose, and gently stroking it along Bastet's back, an ancient form of tactile affection that she seems to enjoy. The sounds of the outside world begin to shift as the day progresses towards evening, the distant murmuring of the Nile, the soft call of birds returning to their nests, the rhythmic splashing of water as someone fetches from the well. But within your home, a profound stillness prevails, a quiet calm that is amplified by Bastet's serene presence. You feel a deep sense of peaceful contentment as you go about your own tasks, perhaps preparing your evening meal, your movements calm and deliberate, a reflection of the tranquil atmosphere. You remember the stories of how cats were often employed in temples, not just as symbols of the goddess, but as living guardians, protecting the sacred spaces from rodents and other pests, their practical value intertwined seamlessly with their spiritual significance. You reflect on the simple act of coexistence, and how much peace it brings to your daily life. There's a quiet understanding between you and Bastet, a bond that doesn't need words, built on shared moments of stillness and mutual respect. You observe the way her ears occasionally twitch, picking up sounds imperceptible to your own ears, a testament to her keen senses. Even in moments of quiet repose, the light in the room softens further, taking on a warm, golden glow as the sun dips lower. You feel a deep sense of gratitude for this creature, this silent companion who brings so much peace and quiet enjoyment to your afternoons. This shared grooming ritual, this quiet observation of her innate elegance, is truly an oddly relaxing habit, a gentle winding down of your day, steeped in the comforting presence of your cherished feline. You wouldn't trade these moments of peaceful companionship for anything, finding immense comfort in the simple, unadulterated presence of your feline friend, a quiet anchor in the rhythm of your ancient home. As twilight deepens, painting the sky in deep purples and oranges, your home begins to settle into the quiet rhythms of evening. The oil lamp is lit, casting its warm, inviting glow, and the air is thick with the comforting aromas of your evening meal. Bastet, alert and graceful, has found her preferred spot for the twilight hours, perched on a low shelf from which she can observe the entire room, her eyes like luminous emeralds in the dimming light. This constant, watchful presence, embodying the protective nature of the goddess Bastet, was a mainstream historical fact that gave ancient Egyptians a profound sense of security. You often feel her silent vigilance, a comforting aura that wards off unseen anxieties. The quirky tidbit here is that some ancient Egyptian curse tablets or protective spells specifically invoke the image or spirit of a cat to ward off evil or bring misfortune upon enemies, showcasing their perceived power even in the darker aspects of magic. Imagine a small clay tablet inscribed with the fierce image of a cat, meant to unleash its protective fury. It's a fascinating glimpse into the more mystical and darker beliefs surrounding these animals. Historians still argue whether these practices were widespread or confined to specific magical practitioners and their clients. As you watch Bastet, her tail occasionally flicking with a silent intensity, you recall seeing similar cat figures carved into door lintels or placed at thresholds, believed to offer protection to the home and its inhabitants. You think about the various offerings made to Bastet in temples, not just food and drink, but often intricately woven baskets or small, gilded models of mice, offerings meant to please the goddess and ensure her continued favor. You might even find yourself adding a small, special piece of bread or fish to Bastet's bowl, a gesture of gratitude for her silent guardianship of your home. The sounds of the evening are now a gentle symphony. The distant hum of conversation from a neighboring household, the soft lapping of the Nile against its banks, the rhythmic chirping of crickets beginning their nightly chorus. But within your home, a profound stillness prevails, a quiet calm that is amplified by Bastet's watchful presence. You feel a deep sense of peace as you eat your meal, your mind settling into a state of relaxed contentment. You remember the stories of how ancient Egyptian queens and noble women often kept cats as personal companions, treating them with immense reverence and lavishing them with attention, a sign of their status and the animal's inherent value. You reflect on the simple yet profound trust that Bastet places in you, her quiet presence a constant reminder of your responsibility and care for her. It's a bond that transcends words, a silent understanding that deepens with each passing day. You observe the way Bastet's luminous eyes seem to pierce the darkness, her keen senses constantly alert, even when her body is at rest. It's a comforting presence, a living symbol of protection in the heart of your home. The air is cool and dry, carrying the faint, earthy scent of the desert night. You feel a deep sense of contentment as you finish your meal, with Bastet a silent, watchful presence nearby. This quiet evening ritual, this shared sense of security and companionship, is truly an oddly relaxing habit, a gentle culmination of your day, steeped in the comforting presence of your cherished feline. You wouldn't trade these moments for anything, finding immense comfort in the silent, unadulterated presence of your feline friend, a quiet anchor in the rhythm of your ancient life. The night has fully descended, a blanket of inky blackness punctuated by the distant sparkle of countless stars. Your home is bathed in the soft, intimate glow of the oil lamp, creating a warm pocket of light against the vastness of the outside world. Bastet, ever the nocturnal sentinel, is now curled gracefully on her mat near your sleeping area, her breathing a soft, rhythmic whisper that provides a comforting lullaby. You find yourself drifting towards sleep, your mind a gentle eddy of thoughts, and her consistent presence is a profound source of peace. This belief in cats as guardians against nocturnal evils, and their association with the sun god Ra's nightly battle against darkness, was a mainstream historical fact, making their presence especially reassuring after sunset. You trust in her silent vigilance, even as she sleeps. The quirky tidbit here is that some ancient Egyptian tombs have been found with small, intricate cat doors, or passages, specifically designed to allow the deceased's pet cat to accompany them into the afterlife, providing them with a continuous bond. Imagine a tiny, perfectly carved opening in a tomb wall, a silent invitation for eternal companionship. It's a remarkably tender detail that speaks volumes about the depth of their belief and affection. Historians still argue whether these were functional passages for living cats, or purely symbolic representations of their journey. As Bastet's gentle purr resonates softly through the stillness of the room, you recall seeing tomb paintings depicting cats resting peacefully beside their deceased owners, a poignant image of eternal companionship. You think about the various offerings made to cats in their tombs, not just food and water, but sometimes even small, symbolic tools or implements, ensuring their continued comfort and activity in the afterlife. You might even find yourself softly stroking Bastet's fur as she sleeps, a gentle, almost reverent touch, feeling the warmth of her small body radiating through the cool linen. The sounds of the night are a distant whisper, the gentle sigh of the wind, the faint hoot of an owl, the rhythmic chirping of crickets. It's a profound stillness, a moment of deep introspection and quiet gratitude. You feel a deep sense of security, a calm that comes from the simple fact of her being there, a living amulet against the unknown. You remember the tales of cats being able to navigate the underworld, guiding their human companions through the perilous journey to the afterlife, a testament to their perceived spiritual power. Whether you consciously believe it or not, you do find yourself feeling a deeper sense of peace knowing she is near. You reflect on the idea of unconditional companionship, a bond that asks for little but gives so much. Bastet's unwavering presence is a constant source of comfort and quiet joy in your life. You observe the subtle twitch of her whiskers, a sign of her dreaming, perhaps of sun-drenched hunting grounds or endless bowls of milk. It's a charming image, one that brings a gentle smile to your face even in the darkness. You close your eyes, the warmth of the oil lamp on your face, the gentle sounds of the night seeping into your consciousness. The image of Bastet, curled in peaceful slumber, is the last thought before sleep claims you. This nightly ritual, the quiet assurance of your cat's proximity, is one of your most cherished and oddly relaxing habits. It's a small, personal luxury that brings immense peace to your ancient Egyptian world, a world that can often be harsh and unforgiving, but is made infinitely more serene by her presence. The first hints of grey light begin to soften the edges of the night, signaling the approach of dawn. You stir from your sleep, and before you even fully awaken, you are aware of the familiar, comforting presence of Bastet nestled beside you. Her soft, rhythmic breathing is a gentle counterpoint to your own, and her warmth radiates, a subtle anchor in the cool pre-dawn air. This unwavering companionship, even in the deepest hours of slumber, was a mainstream historical fact, fostering a deep sense of security and intimacy in ancient Egyptian homes. You often find yourself reaching out to gently stroke her fur, a quiet affirmation of her presence. The quirky tidbit here is that some wealthy ancient Egyptians commissioned specific cat portraits on wooden panels or papyrus, capturing their pets' unique characteristics and often accompanied by their individual names, a testament to the personalized bond they shared. Imagine a small, carefully rendered painting of your Bastet, her luminous eyes and sleek fur immortalized for posterity. It's a testament to the profound artistic and emotional value placed on these creatures. Historians still argue whether these portraits were exclusively for the elite, or if more common folk also commissioned simpler versions. As you slowly awaken, the quiet purr of Bastet begins, a low rumble that vibrates through your sleeping mat. You recall seeing tomb paintings that depicted family life, and nearly every one included a cat, often under the family's chairs or playing with children, illustrating their integral role in the domestic sphere. You think about the symbolic significance of the cat's eyes, often believed to reflect the sun's rays and possess healing properties, a mystical association that added to their allure. You might even find yourself gently rubbing Bastet's head, feeling the soft velvet of her ears between your fingers, a silent morning greeting before the world outside begins to stir. The air is cool and refreshing, carrying the faint, earthy scent of the river and the promise of a new day. The sounds of the village are still hushed, a gentle symphony of awakening, a distant bird call, the soft rustle of palm fronds in the breeze, the barely audible murmur of early risers. But within your home, a profound stillness prevails, a quiet calm that is amplified by Bastet's serene presence. You feel a deep sense of readiness for the day ahead, your mind clear and refreshed, thanks in part to the tranquil start to your morning. You remember the stories of how a cat's sudden appearance or disappearance was often interpreted as an omen, a sign of divine favor or displeasure, highlighting their deep integration into the superstitious beliefs of the time. You reflect on the simple yet profound joy that Bastet brings to your life, a quiet companionship that transcends words and fills your home with warmth. You observe the way she stretches, a long, languid movement that showcases her inherent grace, before she finally hops off your mat, ready for her morning milk. It's a moment of quiet perfection, a creature utterly at ease in its surroundings, yet constantly bringing joy. The first rays of sun now stream through the doorway, painting your home in warm, golden light. You feel a sense of profound gratitude for this creature, this silent companion who brings so much peace and positive energy to your mornings. This shared awakening, this quiet communion with your beloved feline, is truly an oddly relaxing habit, a gentle beginning to your day that sets a tone of tranquility and contentment. You wouldn't trade these moments of peaceful companionship for anything, finding immense comfort in the simple, unadulterated presence of your feline friend, a quiet anchor in the rhythm of your ancient life. The morning sun has fully risen, bathing your mud brick home in a warm, inviting light. Bastet, after her breakfast and a thorough grooming session, has found her favorite spot on a window ledge, a narrow opening that allows her to survey the bustling street below with an air of detached elegance. You find yourself going about your daily chores, perhaps kneading dough for bread or mending a fishing net, and you often glance at her, a silent acknowledgement of her watchful presence. This consistent observation of their surroundings and their perceived role as protectors of the household was a mainstream historical fact, contributing to their pervasive presence in ancient Egyptian homes. You often feel a quiet sense of security knowing she is there, a silent sentinel. The quirky tidbit here is that some ancient Egyptian medical papyri contain remedies or spells that involve cat hair or cat parts, suggesting a belief in their inherent healing or magical properties, even in ancient medical practices. Imagine a healer prescribing a small pouch containing a few strands of Bastet's fur, believed to ward off illness or bring good fortune. It's a fascinating, if slightly unsettling, detail that showcases the depth of their mystical beliefs. Historians still argue whether these were widely accepted medical practices or more akin to folk remedies and superstitions. As Bastet twitches an ear, catching a distant sound, you recall seeing detailed depictions of cats in various forms of Egyptian art, from monumental sculptures to delicate amulets, each capturing their grace and mystique. You think about the various forms of offerings made to Bastet in her temple, not just food, but often small, intricately carved wooden cats or tiny linen bandages, symbolizing the mummified, sacred cats. You might even find yourself collecting a few stray hairs from Bastet's brush, not for a medical remedy, but simply as a keepsake, a tangible reminder of her precious presence. The sounds of the day are now fully awake outside, the distant shouts of merchants, the rhythmic clang of a blacksmith's hammer from afar, the cheerful chatter of children playing in the street. But within your home, a quiet sanctuary prevails, a tranquil space that allows for deep concentration and peaceful introspection. You feel a profound sense of calm as you continue your work, your movements fluid and deliberate, a reflection of the serene atmosphere. You remember the stories of how cats were sometimes used in religious processions, carried in elaborate cages or on the shoulders of priests, a testament to their sacred status and their role in public ceremonies. You reflect on the simple act of shared space and quiet presence, and how much peace it brings. There's a profound understanding that passes between you and Bastet without a single word, a silent language of affection and trust. You observe the way her eyes, like polished obsidian, seem to take in every detail of the street below, her focused attention a mirror of your own quiet dedication to your tasks. The sun continues to climb higher, casting a warmer, almost sleepy glow on your home. You feel a deep sense of contentment, a peacefulness that emanates from the very presence of your feline companion. This shared quietude, this ability to find focus and calm in her presence, is truly an oddly relaxing habit, a cornerstone of your ancient Egyptian life that brings immense peace and productivity. You wouldn't trade these moments of peaceful companionship for anything, finding immense comfort in the simple, unadulterated presence of your feline friend, a constant source of calm and creative inspiration. The midday sun blazes overhead, casting sharp, defined shadows. Your home, thick-walled and designed for coolness, offers a welcome refuge from the heat. Bastet, ever the master of finding comfort, has retreated to the deepest, coolest part of the room, curled into a tight, almost invisible ball in the shadows, her presence a mere suggestion of warmth. You find yourself engaging in quieter, more contemplative tasks, perhaps repairing a sandal or sorting dried herbs, and your gaze often drifts to her, a silent reminder of the importance of rest and stillness. This intuitive understanding of their natural instincts, providing them with appropriate environments, was a mainstream historical fact that demonstrated the depth of the Egyptians' care for their animals. You naturally provide for her needs, a silent dance of mutual respect. The quirky tidbit here is that in some temple contexts, cats were raised and trained specifically for the purpose of being mummified and offered as votive gifts to the goddess Bastet, a somewhat grim but ritualistic practice that speaks to their sacred value. Imagine a designated cat farm, meticulously managed by priests, all in service of the divine. It's a stark reminder of the complex, and sometimes contradictory nature of their reverence. Historians still argue whether this practice was primarily for religious pilgrims seeking divine favor, or a more institutionalized form of animal sacrifice. As Bastet remains in her tranquil slumber, a picture of perfect repose, you recall seeing countless small bronze or wooden statues of cats, often depicted in a resting pose, reflecting the peace they brought to the ancient Egyptian home. You think about the elaborate ceremonies and festivals dedicated to Bastet, often involving processions of revelers and numerous cats, a testament to their pervasive spiritual influence. You might even find yourself silently thanking Bastet for her quiet presence, for the way she embodies peace and brings a serene energy to your home, even in the hottest part of the day. The sounds of the midday are muted, a gentle hum of distant activity, the faint rustle of reeds in the breeze, the occasional cry of a bird soaring high above. But within your home, a profound stillness prevails, a quiet calm that is amplified by Bastet's serene presence. You feel a deep sense of peace as you continue your quiet tasks, your movements slow and deliberate, a reflection of the tranquil atmosphere. You remember the stories of how cats were often kept on boats navigating the Nile, not just for pest control, but also as good luck charms, their presence believed to ensure a safe journey and plentiful catch. Their versatility extended across various aspects of ancient Egyptian life. You reflect on the inherent wisdom of a creature that knows how to simply be, how to find comfort and stillness amidst the world's demands. Bastet's quiet existence is a lesson in mindfulness, a living embodiment of serene contentment. You observe the gentle rise and fall of her chest, the soft, even rhythm of her breathing, a soothing presence in the quiet heat. The sun continues to beat down outside, but within your cool, shaded haven, a timeless peace prevails, a calm fostered by the quiet companionship of your cat. You feel deeply relaxed, almost to the point of drowsiness. The sheer presence of Bastet, creating an atmosphere of profound tranquility. This habit of finding solace in your cat's stillness, in her simple existence, is a true balm for your ancient soul. It's an oddly relaxing habit, indeed, one that you wouldn't trade for anything, finding immense comfort in the silent, unadulterated presence of your feline friend, a quiet anchor in the heart of your ancient home. As the sun begins its slow, deliberate descent towards the western horizon, painting the sky in a gentle wash of gold and pale rose, your home fills with a softer, more mellow light. Bastet, ever a creature attuned to the subtle shifts of the day, uncurls from her midday slumber and begins to stir, stretching languidly before seeking out a new vantage point. You find yourself preparing for the cooler evening, perhaps fetching water from the well or gathering ingredients for dinner, and her graceful movements are a quiet dance that brings a subtle sense of ease to your routine. This natural rhythm of activity and rest, shared between human and feline, was a mainstream historical fact, creating a harmonious domestic environment. You instinctively know when she will awaken, a silent understanding built on years of shared existence. The quirky tidbit here is that some ancient Egyptian tombs contained elaborate scenes of domestic life, including detailed depictions of cats playing with balls or chasing birds, suggesting a genuine appreciation for their playful nature and their role in bringing joy to the household. Imagine a detailed wall painting capturing Bastet in mid-pounce, her eyes alight with playful mischief. It's a charming insight into the light-hearted side of ancient Egyptian pet ownership. Historians still argue whether these playful depictions were purely for artistic embellishment or also served a ritualistic purpose, ensuring the continuation of joy in the afterlife. As Bastet stretches, her tail swishing gently from side to side, you recall seeing similar scenes of domestic bliss featuring cats in various forms of Egyptian art, from pottery to tomb carvings, underscoring their integral place in the family unit. You think about the various festivals and celebrations dedicated to Bastet, often involving music, dancing, and joyous revelry, a testament to the festive spirit associated with the goddess and her feline counterparts. You might even find yourself humming a soft, ancient tune as you go about your chores, a melody that evokes the peaceful contentment that Bastet brings to your home. The sounds of the late afternoon are a gentle symphony. The distant chatter of children returning from play, the rhythmic splash of water from the communal well, the soft murmur of conversations from neighboring homes. But within your home, a profound stillness prevails, a quiet calm that is amplified by Bastet's graceful movements. You feel a deep sense of peace as you continue your preparations, your movements calm and deliberate, a reflection of the tranquil atmosphere. You remember the stories of how a cat's purr was believed to have healing properties, capable of soothing ailments and bringing comfort to the sick, a belief that likely stemmed from the profound sense of calm these animals radiated. You reflect on the simple joys that Bastet brings to your life, her playful antics, her quiet purr, her unwavering presence. These are the moments that truly enrich your days, adding a layer of warmth and comfort to your existence. You observe the way she gazes out through the doorway, her eyes luminous in the softening light, taking in the world with quiet curiosity. It's a moment of shared contemplation, a silent communion with a creature that seems to understand more than it lets on. The light in the room continues to soften, taking on a golden glow as the sun dips lower. You feel a deep sense of gratitude for this creature, this silent companion who brings so much peace and quiet enjoyment to your afternoons. This shared winding down of the day, this quiet observation of her elegant movements, is truly an oddly relaxing habit, a gentle transition to the peaceful embrace of evening, steeped in the comforting presence of your cherished feline. You wouldn't trade these moments for anything, finding immense comfort in the simple, unadulterated presence of your feline friend, a quiet anchor in the rhythm of your ancient home. As twilight deepens, casting long, mysterious shadows across your home, the air grows cooler, carrying the faint scent of baking flatbread from your own oven. Bastet, now fully alert and active, is engaged in a quiet hunt for a stray insect, her sleek body low to the ground, her tail twitching with controlled intensity. You find yourself observing her with a quiet fascination, marveling at her predatory grace, a primal instinct that connects her to the wild, even in the comfort of your home. This recognition of their innate hunting prowess, despite their domesticated status, was a mainstream historical fact, valued for their role in pest control. You often find yourself feeling a silent appreciation for her quiet efficiency, a guardian against unwanted pests. The quirky tidbit here is that some ancient Egyptian cat mummies have been found with evidence of broken bones or healed injuries, suggesting that these beloved pets, even in their pampered lives, sometimes encountered dangers or engaged in strenuous activities, perhaps even in the pursuit of their duties. Imagine Bastet returning from a night's escapade with a minor injury, only to be carefully tended by you, a testament to the depth of your care. Historians still argue whether these injuries were common for household cats, or if they were indicative of more adventurous, semi-feral lives. As Bastet pounces, a quick, silent blur of motion, you recall seeing detailed depictions of cats hunting birds or mice in ancient Egyptian art, often with remarkable realism, showcasing their skill and agility. You think about the various protective amulets and charms worn by Egyptians, many of which incorporated feline imagery, believing that the cat's protective power would ward off harm and ill fortune. You might even find yourself gently rubbing Bastet's head as she returns from her successful hunt, murmuring a soft word of praise, a quiet acknowledgement of her ancient instincts. The sounds of the evening are now a gentle symphony. The distant hum of conversation from a neighboring household, the soft lapping of the Nile against its banks, the rhythmic chirping of crickets beginning their nightly chorus. But within your home, a profound stillness prevails, a quiet calm that is amplified by Bastet's watchful presence. You feel a deep sense of peace as you eat your meal, your mind settling into a state of relaxed contentment. You remember the stories of how ancient Egyptian women would often bring cats to their birthing chambers, believing their presence would ensure a safe delivery and protect the newborn from evil spirits, highlighting their association with fertility and protection. You reflect on the simple yet profound trust that Bastet places in you, her quiet presence a constant reminder of your responsibility and care for her. It's a bond that transcends words, a silent understanding that deepens with each passing day. You observe the way Bastet's luminous eyes seem to pierce the darkness, her keen senses constantly alert, even when her body is at rest. It's a comforting presence, a living symbol of protection in the heart of your home. The air is cool and dry, carrying the faint, earthy scent of the desert night. You feel a deep sense of contentment as you finish your meal, with Bastet a silent, watchful presence nearby. This quiet evening ritual, this shared sense of security and companionship, is truly an oddly relaxing habit, a gentle culmination of your day, steeped in the comforting presence of your cherished feline. You wouldn't trade these moments for anything, finding immense comfort in the silent, unadulterated presence of your feline friend, a quiet anchor in the rhythm of your ancient life. The night is now fully established, a velvety canvas of darkness punctuated by the brilliant pinpricks of stars. Your home, illuminated solely by the gentle flicker of the oil lamp, feels like a sanctuary, a warm, safe haven against the vastness of the outside world. Bastet, having completed her nocturnal patrol, has settled into a comfortable spot near your sleeping mat, her presence a silent, reassuring warmth. You find yourself drifting towards sleep, your mind a gentle river of thoughts, and her consistent presence is a profound source of peace and security. This belief in cats as guardians against nocturnal threats, particularly snakes and scorpions, was a mainstream historical fact, making their presence especially valued after sunset. You trust in her silent vigilance, even as she sleeps, a quiet comfort against the unseen. The quirky tidbit here is that some ancient Egyptian dream books or interpretations of dreams included specific meanings for dreaming about cats, often linking them to good fortune, protection, or the arrival of a desired message. Imagine waking from a dream about Bastet and immediately consulting a dream book to decipher its auspicious meaning for your day. It's a fascinating insight into the symbolic and psychological role of cats in ancient Egyptian consciousness. Historians still argue whether these dream interpretations were widely believed by the general populace, or confined to those with a deeper interest in omens and prophecy. As Bastet's soft, rhythmic breathing fills the quiet room, you recall seeing tomb paintings depicting cats resting peacefully beside their deceased owners, a poignant image of eternal companionship that reinforces the idea of their protective presence extending even beyond life. You think about the various offerings made to cats in their tombs, not just food and water, but sometimes even miniature fishing nets or tiny bowls, ensuring their continued comfort and ability to sustain themselves in the afterlife. You might even find yourself softly stroking Bastet's fur as she sleeps, a gentle, almost reverent touch, feeling the warmth of her small body radiating through the cool linen. The sounds of the night are a distant whisper, the gentle sigh of the wind, the faint hoot of an owl, the rhythmic chirping of crickets. It's a profound stillness, a moment of deep introspection and quiet gratitude. You feel a deep sense of security, a calm that comes from the simple fact of her being there. A living amulet against the unknown, a silent guardian against whatever spirits might wander in the darkness. You remember the tales of cats being able to see spirits and ward off malevolent forces, their eyes believed to possess a unique power to perceive the unseen. Whether you consciously believe it or not, you do find yourself feeling a deeper sense of peace, knowing she is near. You reflect on the idea of unconditional companionship, a bond that asks for little but gives so much. Bastet's unwavering presence is a constant source of comfort and quiet joy in your life. You observe the subtle twitch of her whiskers, a sign of her dreaming, perhaps of sun-drenched hunting grounds or endless bowls of milk. It's a charming image, one that brings a gentle smile to your face even in the darkness. You close your eyes, the warmth of the oil lamp on your face, the gentle sounds of the night seeping into your consciousness. The image of Bastet, curled in peaceful slumber, is the last thought before sleep claims you. This nightly ritual, the quiet assurance of your cat's proximity, is one of your most cherished and oddly relaxing habits. It's a small, personal luxury that brings immense peace to your ancient Egyptian world, a world that can often be harsh and unforgiving, but is made infinitely more serene by her presence. The first hints of dawn begin to paint the eastern sky, a faint blush of rose and gold against the lingering dark. You stir from your slumber, and before your eyes even fully open, you become aware of Bastet's familiar warmth nestled close beside you, her soft purr a gentle vibration that hums through the quiet room. This shared awakening, a quiet, almost sacred moment, is a cornerstone of your oddly relaxing habits. You know that the ancient Egyptians believed cats embodied aspects of the goddess Bastet, and that their awakening with the sun symbolized the renewal of life and divine protection, a mainstream historical fact that permeated their daily lives. You often find yourself silently blessing her, a quiet prayer for a peaceful and prosperous day. The quirky tidbit here is that some ancient Egyptian texts suggest that the mummification of cats was so prevalent that entire cat cemeteries, containing hundreds of thousands of mummified felines, were discovered, indicating a mass production of sacred offerings rather than solely individual pet burials. Imagine vast underground chambers filled with countless cat mummies, a powerful testament to their immense sacred value. Historians still argue whether this scale of mummification was driven by religious pilgrimage and votive offerings, or by the belief in cats as powerful intermediaries to the divine. As Bastet stretches, a long, languid motion that showcases her inherent grace, you recall seeing detailed illustrations in ancient papyri depicting cats in various states of awakening, from sleepy stretches to alert vigilance, reflecting their natural rhythms. You think about the various rituals and prayers dedicated to Bastet, often performed at dawn, invoking her protective powers over the household and its inhabitants. You might even find yourself offering a small bowl of fresh milk to Bastet, a silent communion that affirms her sacred role in your home, even before you consider your own needs. The air is cool and crisp, carrying the fresh scent of dew and the promise of a new day. The sounds of the village are still hushed, a gentle symphony of awakening, a distant rooster crowing, the soft rustle of palm fronds in the breeze, the barely audible murmur of early risers. But within your home, a profound stillness prevails, a quiet calm that is amplified by Bastet's serene presence. You feel a deep sense of readiness for the day ahead, your mind clear and refreshed, thanks in part to the tranquil start to your morning. You remember the stories of how ancient Egyptian families would often take their cats with them when moving to a new home, believing that the cat's presence would bless the new dwelling and bring good fortune, highlighting their role as bringers of luck and protection. You reflect on the simple yet profound joy that Bastet brings to your life, a quiet companionship that transcends words and fills your home with warmth and positive energy. You observe the way she gazes out through the doorway, her eyes, luminous in the soft morning light, taking in the world with quiet curiosity, a silent preparation for the day's unfolding. It's a moment of shared contemplation, a silent communion with a creature that seems to understand more than it lets on. The first rays of sun now stream through the doorway, painting your home in warm, golden light. You feel a sense of profound gratitude for this creature, this silent companion who brings so much peace and positive energy to your mornings. This shared awakening, this quiet communion with your beloved feline, is truly an oddly relaxing habit, a gentle beginning to your day that sets a tone of tranquility and contentment. You wouldn't trade these moments of peaceful companionship for anything, finding immense comfort in the simple, unadulterated presence of your feline friend, a quiet anchor in the rhythm of your ancient life. The morning has fully awakened, the sun now high in the sky, casting a bright, unwavering light across your home. The air is warm and dry, carrying the scent of baking bread from your neighbors, ovens and the distant, earthy aroma of the Nile. Bastet, having completed her breakfast and morning ablutions, has settled into a patch of sun-drenched floor, her body a picture of serene contentment, purring softly. You find yourself immersed in your daily tasks, perhaps preparing a meal or spinning thread, and her consistent presence is a soothing backdrop to your work, a silent affirmation of peace. This quiet companionship, fostering a sense of calm and well-being, was a mainstream historical fact, contributing to the cat's pervasive presence in ancient Egyptian homes. You often feel her silent energy, a comforting aura that allows you to focus and remain tranquil amidst your chores. The quirky tidbit here is that some archaeological finds suggest that ancient Egyptian cat owners would occasionally have their cats adorned with small pieces of jewelry, such as rings or pendants, further highlighting their status as cherished and valued members of the household. Imagine a tiny, intricately carved pendant dangling from Bastet's neck, catching the sunlight as she moves, a subtle display of affection and esteem. It's a charming detail that speaks to the level of indulgence and love. Historians still argue whether these adornments were common for all pet owners or primarily for those with ample resources and a flair for display. As Bastet stretches, a slow, deliberate movement that highlights every elegant curve of her body, you recall seeing countless depictions of cats in various forms of Egyptian art, from monumental sculptures to delicate amulets, each capturing their grace and mystique. You think about the various prayers and incantations inscribed on temple walls, many of which invoked Bastet's name for protection, fertility and joy, reinforcing her pervasive spiritual influence. You might even find yourself gently rubbing Bastet's back as you pass her, feeling the warmth of her fur beneath your palm, a simple act of affection that she accepts with a soft purr. The sounds of the day are now fully alive outside, the cheerful shouts of children playing, the rhythmic beat of a carpenter's hammer, the distant bleating of goats. But within your home, a quiet sanctuary prevails, a tranquil space that allows for deep concentration and peaceful introspection. You feel a profound sense of calm as you continue your work, your movements fluid and deliberate, a reflection of the serene atmosphere. You remember the stories of how certain cats were believed to possess prophetic abilities, their unusual behaviors or vocalizations interpreted as messages from the divine, adding another layer to their already mystical aura. You reflect on the simple act of shared space and quiet presence, and how much peace it brings to your daily life. There's a profound understanding that passes between you and Bastet without a single word, a silent language of affection and trust. You observe the way her ears occasionally twitch, picking up sounds you cannot hear, a testament to her heightened senses even in slumber. The sun continues to climb higher, casting a warmer, almost sleepy glow on your home. You feel a deep sense of contentment, a peacefulness that emanates from the very presence of your feline companion. This shared quietude, this ability to find focus and calm in her presence, is truly an oddly relaxing habit, a cornerstone of your ancient Egyptian life that brings immense peace and productivity. You wouldn't trade these moments of peaceful companionship for anything, finding immense comfort in the simple, unadulterated presence of your feline friend, a constant source of calm and creative inspiration. As the afternoon sun begins its slow descent, painting the sky in ever-deepening hues of gold and amber, your home takes on a softer, more mellow light. Bastet, ever a creature attuned to the subtle shifts of the day, uncurls from her midday slumber and begins to stir, stretching languidly before seeking out a new vantage point, perhaps a high shelf where she can observe the world with quiet dignity. You find yourself preparing for the cooler evening, perhaps fetching water from the well or gathering ingredients for dinner, and her graceful movements are a quiet dance that brings a subtle sense of ease to your routine. This natural rhythm of activity and rest, shared between human and feline, was a mainstream historical fact, creating a harmonious domestic environment. You instinctively know when she will awaken, a silent understanding built on years of shared existence. The quirky tidbit here is that some ancient Egyptian texts mention the belief that cats, especially those of significant status, were thought to guide their owners through the perils of the underworld after death, acting as spiritual companions and protectors on the journey to the afterlife. Imagine Bastet, not just a beloved pet, but a silent, mystical guide through the unknown realms of the dot. It's a profound testament to their perceived spiritual power and the enduring hope for eternal companionship. Historians still argue whether this belief was widespread among all social classes or primarily for the more affluent, who could afford elaborate burial preparations for themselves and their pets. As Bastet stretches, her tail swishing gently from side to side, you recall seeing tomb paintings depicting cats sitting patiently beside their owners in serene afterlife scenes, their presence assuring comfort and continuity. You think about the various offerings made to cats in their tombs, not just food and water, but sometimes even small, symbolic tools or implements, ensuring their continued comfort and activity in the afterlife. You might even find yourself softly murmuring a quiet promise to Bastet, a pledge of eternal companionship. Even though you know she cannot understand the words themselves, only the gentle tone of your voice. The sounds of the late afternoon are a gentle symphony. The distant chatter of children returning from play, the rhythmic splash of water from the communal well, the soft murmur of conversations from neighboring homes. But within your home, a profound stillness prevails, a quiet calm that is amplified by Bastet's graceful movements. You feel a deep sense of peace as you continue your preparations, your movements calm and deliberate, a reflection of the tranquil atmosphere. You remember the stories of how a cat's eyes were believed to be windows to the divine, possessing a unique insight into the spiritual world, a belief that added to their mystique and sacredness. You reflect on the simple joys that Bastet brings to your life, her playful antics, her quiet purr, her unwavering presence. These are the moments that truly enrich your days, adding a layer of warmth and comfort to your existence. You observe the way she gazes out through the doorway, her eyes, luminous in the softening light, taking in the world with quiet curiosity. It's a moment of shared contemplation, a silent communion with a creature that seems to understand more than it lets on. The light in the room continues to soften, taking on a golden glow as the sun dips lower. You feel a deep sense of gratitude for this creature, this silent companion who brings so much peace and quiet enjoyment to your afternoons. This shared winding down of the day, this quiet observation of her elegant movements, is truly an oddly relaxing habit, a gentle transition to the peaceful embrace of evening, steeped in the comforting presence of your cherished feline. You wouldn't trade these moments for anything, finding immense comfort in the simple, unadulterated presence of your feline friend, a quiet anchor in the rhythm of your ancient life. The last vestiges of daylight fade completely, yielding to the deep, encompassing darkness of the Egyptian night. Your home is now softly illuminated by the single oil lamp, its gentle glow creating a pocket of warmth and intimacy. Bastet, having completed her evening meal and satisfied her playful urges, has gracefully curled into a soft, inviting ball on her sleeping mat beside yours. Her rhythmic breathing, a low, almost imperceptible purr, is a comforting presence that lulls you into a state of profound relaxation. You find yourself settling down for the night, your mind quiet, your body wary but content. This consistent, reassuring proximity of your feline companion, even in the deepest hours of slumber, was a mainstream historical fact, fostering a deep sense of security and intimacy in ancient Egyptian homes. You often find yourself reaching out, even in your sleep, to gently touch her fur, a quiet affirmation of her protective presence. The quirky tidbit here is that despite their sacred status, some archaeological evidence suggests that ancient Egyptians also consumed cat meat during times of extreme famine, a stark contrast to their usual reverence that highlights the harsh realities of survival in antiquity. Imagine the moral dilemma, the profound sadness of resorting to such an act. Historians still argue whether this was a widespread practice or an extremely rare and desperate measure, a testament to the complex relationship between reverence and survival. As Bastat's soft, even breaths fill the quiet room, you recall seeing tomb paintings depicting cats resting peacefully beside their deceased owners, a poignant image of eternal companionship that reinforces the idea of their protective presence, extending even beyond life. You think about the various layers of belief and folklore surrounding cats, from their connection to the sun god Ra to their perceived ability to ward off nightmares, each adding to their profound significance. You might even find yourself softly whispering a quiet goodnight to Bastet, a silent blessing for her peaceful sleep, a simple act of profound affection that brings a smile to your face in the darkness. The sounds of the night are a distant whisper, the gentle sigh of the wind through the palm fronds, the faint hoot of an owl, the rhythmic chirping of crickets. It's a profound stillness, a moment of deep introspection and quiet gratitude for the peace she brings. You feel a deep sense of security, a calm that comes from the simple fact of her being there, a living amulet against the unknown, a silent guardian against whatever spirits might wander in the darkness. You remember the tales of cats being able to guide souls through the perilous journey of the afterlife, their luminous eyes serving as beacons in the dark, a final, mystical act of companionship. You reflect on the concept of unconditional companionship, a bond that asks for little but gives so much. Bastet's unwavering presence is a constant source of comfort and quiet joy in your life, a true anchor in the rhythm of your ancient home. You observe the subtle twitch of her whiskers, a sign of her dreaming, perhaps of endless sunbeams and bountiful fish. It's a charming image, one that brings a gentle smile to your face even in the darkness. You close your eyes, the warmth of the oil lamp on your face, the gentle sounds of the night seeping into your consciousness. The image of Bastet, curled in peaceful slumber, is the last thought before sleep claims you. This nightly ritual, the quiet assurance of your cat's proximity, is one of your most cherished and oddly relaxing habits. It's a small, personal luxury that brings immense peace to your ancient Egyptian world, a world that can often be harsh and unforgiving, but is made infinitely more serene by her presence. As the final echoes of our journey through ancient Egypt begin to gently fade, and the last whispers of Bastet's quiet purr recede into the vastness of time, you can feel the warmth of the sand beneath your feet soften, the scent of the papyrus become fainter, and the distant murmur of the Nile ebb into silence. The flickering lamplight in that ancient home dims, leaving only the tranquil darkness, a peaceful embrace that welcomes sleep. Remember those quiet moments, the gentle nuzzles, the shared stillness of an afternoon sunbeam. Let the image of a contented cat, a silent guardian, drift through your mind, a reminder of the simple, profound peace that can be found in the most unexpected corners of history. Allow yourself to sink deeper into the comfort of your own bed, feeling the soft blankets around you, letting any lingering thoughts dissipate like desert mist. The ancient world sleeps now, and so too can you. All is calm, all is quiet. Just breathe. Good night.